going on before you? What's going on? Everybody thinks we're wrong. But we were ready to judge us simply because we were there. I am. Now we got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. If you give signs, don't you punish me with brutality. Come on and talk to me so we can say what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Hey, what's going on? Yeah. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey everybody, this is Katie Lowe on Rhythm Flow Radio, live stream after dark. Hey Roman.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Hey Sharon.
Hi, Miss Katie. Hey, Roman.
Hey, how you doing?
Tired.
I want to welcome. Oh, where did he go?
What happened to
He'll be
Roman?
back. I want to welcome everybody to Rhythm Flow Radio live stream after dark, where we discuss hot topics. And I tell you, the topics, oh, there he comes, are hot this evening. They are very hot. So, instead of coming on at 4:45, I thought I would accommodate my friend Roman, who likes to come on. I don't know, he likes to be out here after dark.
You know that old saying, the freaks come out at night, you know?
Are you trying to tell me you're a freak?
Y'all started already. Y'all started.
I mean, I just want to ask him the question before we get into these hot topics. Are you trying to tell me that you're a freak?
I listen to Rick James, and he's a super freak.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, everybody knows who I am because I told them. So
you told me before the show, try my best to keep it PG-13. So
Yes.
Because that lady that I had on here last week, boy, we were on the daytime. She did not keep it PG-13.
Oh, I liked her. She was very interesting. I learned a lot.
From Sister Cortella.
I learned a lot. I was like, ooh.
Well, honey, I'm gonna have to get me some of that goose grease she was talking about. Cause I ain't never had no goose.
Say that again.
Goose grease. Yeah, Sister Quintella say
goose grease.
Like
grease.
Goose. There you go again. Anyway, she said you take that goose grease and you rub it across your chest when you sit. And she said everything that's wrong with you will leave. Because it's the best grease in the world. And some people knew about it. I didn't know, but there were some people who actually knew about goose grease.
Who was it? Mom, I was telling my mom about it, and you're right. Like a lot of the older people knew about it, and I was like, I want to get some of that because I was like, with me being outside all the time, I'm afraid of catching colds and stuff. And she was like, "Nah, you get some of that and rub it on your chest and get under the covers. You'll be all right." I was like, "Okay," but I couldn't remember what her name was to get it.
Her name is Sister Quintella Cadwell. And she even another Lynn knew all about the goose grease. And I've been knowing Lynn probably ever since I've been in Chicago, about 40 years. She knew all about goose grease. I'd never heard of it. But now y'all introduce yourself so people will know who you are.
Go ahead, Roman.
Oh, okay. My name is Roman Morrow. I'm the host of the Drive at 5 that comes on every single Monday from 5 until 6 on intellectualradio.com.
And I am Sharon Chester. I am currently reigning Miss American Nation 2021. I used to be the host of Kinky Conversations and the Off the Wall show, but I'm on hiatus because I am doing a lot of things in the community now that requires a lot of time. I am the founder and executive director of Family First CL Foundation, which is a not-for-profit organization that does great things in the community in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs.
All right. So we're going to get into these hot topics because we got quite a few of them. The first one that I want to get into, carjacking. What's wrong?
You see that cute one of them in Lansing?
Huh?
They got one of them in Lansing last night. One of the carjackers, they shot him and killed him in Lansing last night. He was trying to carjack somebody in Lansing.
What? Not in here about that one.
It was on the news. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Pull it up.
And they
Are you talking to me or Katie?
Huh?
I'm talking to both of you guys.
I didn't hear about it. Roman's phone must not be charged up. And he knows he's supposed to charge that phone up.
Well, it was on the news, actually. It was on the news I don't know if he was 16 or 17, but he got killed last night trying to carjack somebody in Lansing. And I was reading, actually,
it wasn't the 15-year-old, was it?
I'm not sure. It was 3 of them all together, but the 2 got away, 1 got shot. And it was in Lansing. And I was looking, somebody messaged me on Facebook. Well, I was on their timeline that was saying that he posted a picture on his Facebook page of them robbing somebody at a car wash and making that person strip naked. And he had the person that was robbing him had an AK-47. And they listed his Facebook page. Actually, I got the Facebook page up because I was looking. I thought you was going to talk about it. And they showed his picture. They talked about if he has over 3,000 some friends on Facebook. Ain't nobody, the guy that posted, he said, can't nobody not know that out of these 3,000 people on Facebook, this not one of his relatives, friends, cousins, somebody. On his Facebook, they didn't know what they was doing.
Yeah, this is a 15-year-old dies in shooting doing South suburban carjacking. 15 years old, and he out carjacking.
What? I mean, I don't know if is it the world today, but at 15, I wasn't even thinking about trying to jack nobody for no car. Or has the world
at 15? You got to understand now, some of the young men and young ladies, they're 15 and their mothers are like 29, 28.
I got a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 19-year-old. Maybe I'm just old school, but I believe in putting my foot in my kids' ass if they get out of place. I just can't. Even if that was my
And I think you should put your foot in their ass if they get out of place. I
because
think any parent should. I
that's how
think if
I
your
was
child get
raised.
out of place, you should do that.
I don't know if we've gotten away from that, but that's how I was raised. If we got out of hand, our parents was had some authority. We got if we didn't get in trouble by our parents, you got in trouble by your auntie, your neighbor down the street. If that wasn't your auntie, she was your play auntie, but she wasn't relative, but you still knew her as your auntie. We have gotten away from that. Like kids these days are disrespectful to the
Hmm.
max. They're spoiled. They think they can talk to you any type of way, do whatever they want to do. And parents, I don't know if they scared of their kids or if they just too busy trying to be their kids' friends. But
Well,
I
like,
personally think we need to go back to the old school way of doing things, where you as a parent, your kids fear you. You struck fear. Your kids. I'm to this day. I'm afraid of my mom and my dad. My dad's passed away, but I'm afraid of my mom because that's how I was taught. I got fear of my mom. I don't cuss around my mom. I don't talk back to my mom, and I'm grown. That's what like amazes me when I'm out somewhere and I see kids talking back to their parents or calling them by their first name, calling them Mary. I'm like, who?
you know
But
what?
I
You
don't know.
just said that, calling them by their first name. Now, when you said that, I thought about an incident I have, and they might get mad because I'm telling this, but I'm gonna tell it. I have these two nieces. I have two nieces. Well, they're great nieces, and they have a lot going on for themselves. They really, really do. They are young women in their 30s. One of them is she owns she owns some real estate here in Chicago. She owns some apartment buildings. She has a real good job. She probably makes six figures, and she's 30 some years old. A young lady, very very independent, and so is her sister. There's some very independent women, but have they I'm gonna call her name. She's probably gonna get pissed off, but they'll just be pissed off. You know what I'm saying? They've been pissed off before. They don't like their girlfriends referring to their mother by her first name. Now you see, that's something when I was growing up, you would never call my mama Cleo. Because my mother didn't
Right.
play that. Her name was Mrs. Lowe to you. You would never walk into our house and say, "Hey, Cleo, how you doing?" Are you kidding me? They don't do that. We didn't play that.
I
But
still call my mama to this day, Mom. I don't call my mama Ida. I call my mama Mom.
one of their
Mom, what's
friends
good?
refers to their mother by her first name, and they don't like that. And when you were saying the part about children calling the parent by the first name, my parents didn't play that.
Mm-mm.
You respected them.
Yeah.
But I was going to tell you, when 13 and 14-year-olds have children, and you have to look at the fact that, say, a parent could be 28 and she could have a son 14 or 15. And if you haven't done anything, if you had baby at 14 or 15, if you didn't go back to school and continue your education, or go back to school and get a trade or something to make you, should I say, marketable in today's world, and you decided that you were going to get on some general assistance or something like that, and you are stuck. What can you tell? What can you, as a 28-year-old mother, tell your 15-year-old son or daughter?
Right.
Roman, you are awful quiet, and I don't like that. Turn that doggone TV off.
He not paying
Oh,
attention to us. See?
Always turn the TV off before I come through the computer.
No.
He must be watching the impeachment trial.
Debbie does Dallas.
I keep on telling you it's not Debbie Does Dallas.
Shaniqua.
That's much better.
Okay. But
But
anyway,
no, I kind of agree with you as well, Roman. You know, I know you there with your mom.
I'm having internet trouble and it keeps knocking me out. So when I join back in, I'm trying to catch what you guys are discussing, and then it knocks me out again, and then I'm coming back in. So I'm trying to catch up here.
We're
okay, well,
talking about
you need to tell us what you think about this carjacking, because
Yeah.
these are mostly young men that are doing this, not women. Young women. It's young men. And usually, I hate to say it, they're young men of color.
It is young men of color.
Oh, you know I hate that language, Katie.
I know you hate it.
Sharon, she always want to start something with me. So
I know, that's why I'm being quiet. I'm in the cut.
Well, number one, it's I know you was talking about parenting, Sharon, and put some foot up the asses, so to speak. And I also think that in a sense you're right. I think what's happening now is we live in a generation. There's a generation out there that they're not scared of anything. We live in a generation where they live off of video games. They've been raised by video games. They've been raised by reality television, and we say it's the parents. There are some parents that's doing everything they can to make ends meet, and we don't have that village, so to speak, like we used to.
Right, and that's what I said.
And one of the things that people say are missing are Black men, and I wish people would stop saying that, even though some of it is true, but not all of it is true. And
go ahead.
Say that one more time.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish it. Then I want to talk about. You said some people say that Black men are missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. I want to elaborate on that. Go ahead.
And I said, okay, in some aspects that's true. In certain aspects, it's not true. We always focus on the percentage that's exploitation of Black men. We don't concentrate on the good Black men that take their sons and daughters to school. We don't concentrate on the good Black men that's doing the right thing. And we got this. And I said this to Katie, I think last time we did After Dark. These organizations that says, or the people that say they speak for us, do they really speak for us? I don't think they don't. Because if they really speak for us, then they would say to the media, the stuff you put on air, the music that you play that degrade Black women, that degrade Black men, that degrade the community is part of what's going on in our community. So
who's making that? Who's making that music?
Oh, who's making that music? And it goes back to our community. But then again, like I said before, they look at the money. They don't look at the responsibility. They look at the money. They don't look at the damage. I'll basically say this. There was a report that Cardi B, if I'm saying this Yeah, Cardi B. Um, got this song called WAP, the WAP song, right? What? Am I saying it wrong? Is it?
WAP, yeah, WAP, WAP. That's the name of the song.
Oh, okay. Okay. And she said in a report that her music is for adults.
Mm-hmm,
It's not for children.
mm-hmm.
And she says she won't allow her own children to listen to her music. So this goes back to the hypocrisy of hip hop. Hip hop is now defined as hypocrisy. And the reason why is you make this kind of music that you don't want your own children to listen to, then what about my children? What about Sharon's children? What about everybody else's children? So go ahead.
Because you should be in control of your children. You, as a parent, should control what they hear, what they see, what they do, where they go, who their friends are. Okay, these are things that parents should do. Now,
But Katie, and
you and I have had this discussion because we talked about, and I really didn't want to bring this up tonight because these are discussions that you and I always have, and we talked about drill music.
right.
And I told you I didn't know what it was until I had a guest on the radio show, and he asked me had I ever listened to the drill music. And I'm going to tell you, I was just so embarrassed because I had no idea what he was talking about. But you better believe, as soon as I got in my car, I looked up drill music and I played some of it. And he said, this is what he said to me. His name was Phil Smith. He said, do you think parents know what their children are listening to? He said, they walk around and they got their headphones on, they got the earplugs in the ear, they got the radio, they're walking around. You can't hear what they're listening to, only they can. So if you allow them to listen to that, whose fault is that? She said she make her music for grown folks, not for children. So if you allow Lowe, whatever her name is, listen,
Carly B.
Romania, or whatever your daughter's name is, the one that I just made up. If you allow her, if you allow her, say if she was 15, if you allow her to listen to WAP, whose fault is that?
See, and that's the thing
too. Actually, it's all of our faults.
Right.
And the reason why I say all of us, no, hold on. The reason that I say it's all of us is because, number one, you cannot escape it. There used to be a time that you can escape the negativity. And I understand you can be a parent and say, don't play this in my home. Yeah, don't. Then you got headphones. I don't want you to listen to that. But
they get those headphones for them.
Okay, but I agree
you get it from. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, as a parent, you have control of whatever goes on in your house. My kids, I control everything that happens with my kids, from what they listen to, because like you said, they got on headphones. But who bought those headphones? If I didn't pay $120 some for some headphones, I got to know what you're listening to. You're not going to be online listening. And my kids will tell you, I monitor they Snapchat, Instagram, everything that they're on. I monitor that. So if you a parent that don't care about what your kids listening to, what they watching, whatever, then that's on you. But you are the one, you the adult. You control what your kids listen to and what they do.
but the answer, however, the answer is the problem. There are parents out there that baby their children and their child, they can't do no wrong. There are parents out there that no matter what, their child can't do no wrong. And
And you're
a
absolutely
prime
right.
example of what happened a couple of months
How much
ago
does
in
a
Galewood, in Galewood, where they had close to 1,000 people inside the house. Guess what some of the people said? Guess what a politician did? Guess what
what?
they basically cuddled them, saying, "Well, he's sorry. It was wrong. He wasn't able to pay for his mistakes to say, I won't do this again, because if I do this again, I know this is going to happen." And the
Okay.
problem is we let people get away with too damn much, especially
Okay.
here in the city of
Again,
Chicago.
like what I said earlier, you have to put your foot in your kid's ass. You got these soft parents that don't want to discipline their kids, that don't want to do nothing. What do you expect to happen? You got these, you end up with a mass murderer or a serial killer because you done trained them that way. You didn't let them get away with murder. If that was my kids will tell you, I am on them 24/7. They can't get away. Even my 19-year-old can't get away with nothing. I control what happens, what they listen to, what they do, whatever, until they're grown and out of my house. Then they can make their own decisions. But as a parent, I make the decisions, and I'm raising them so that they are responsible adults and responsible children to understand and know that their actions has consequences. So if whatever you do, it causes a problem, you got to deal with the consequences of your actions. So that's a cop out for somebody to say, oh, well, my kid, the lady the 15-year-old parent, the one who killed that guy, the guy, his parents said, oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's hanging with the wrong people. That's BS. You ain't watching your kid. He out there trying to be the man, trying to show off in front of his friends, and then kill somebody. And now you want to hold his hand, pat him on the head, and say, oh, that's a good boy. No, beat his ass and let him deal with the consequences of his actions. If he got to go to jail, he got to go to jail. That's what you did, and you deserve to deal with the consequences of your actions. We're live on Facebook on my page, Katie page, or whatever. So I have a lot of people that are chiming into what we're saying. So I'm going to read some of those comments in between what we're talking about.
Go ahead. Let me say this. Let me say this about children. Children don't run you.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that's one of the problems. And then you said parents want to be their child's friend. That child is not your girlfriend, or that son is not your boyfriend. That is a child.
Yeah.
And because he's a child, there's some things that you have to teach him while he's developing. Okay? Just like he goes through those stages of development. And we know that they don't come with a book when they're born. When they pop out, the manual don't pop out with them. We already know that. But there's something parents cannot do, and that's be your child's friend. Because when you start being your child's friend, of course your child can't do any wrong. But let me tell you something.
And that's when all the problems come in.
Don't trust them no further than you can see them.
Because my kids will tell you all the time. They'll tell you all the time. My mama will tell you, we ain't my mama friend.
Okay.
And they know they get embarrassed in a minute. They be in front of their friends trying to cut up and act a fool. I tell them in a minute, don't get embarrassed in front of your friends. They be on Snapchat and Instagram doing their videos and stuff. I walk in the room. If I see something inappropriate, give me the phone, turn it off. I'm finna embarrass you in front of your friends so you know not to do it next time. Cause I'm not playing those games. You ain't finna be
Because
twerking, pulling your shirt
if
up, doing all that.
if you
I'm raising responsible young women, not thoughts and hoochies.
if you got a 15-year-old that go out there and steal a car and kill somebody, and he's
Okay.
a good boy, let me tell you something. This ain't his first time at the rodeo.
Right.
And it's too, listen, carjacking has been going along a long time. It didn't just start with the mayor, okay? It's been going on way before the mayor ever decided to run for mayor of Chicago. So I don't want anybody to dump that in her lap. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna stand up for her right now because they always, oh, it's the mayor's fault. No, hell, it ain't the mayor's fault. It's the parents' fault because
Okay,
come on with it. I want to argue with your buddy anyway. Come on. It is not the mayor's fault. It's the parents' fault. Because believe me, if they're out there in the street doing this, they're doing this at home. This is
Exactly.
the start. They're doing this at home. They're disrespecting their mother. And if there's a father, they're disrespecting him. If they're stealing, they're stealing from their parents. If they steal in the street, they steal at home. Believe me, if they curse in the street and fight, believe me, they're trying to do it at home.
there's a respect factor, Katie, that goes with it as well. The respect factor is a lot of us, meaning adults, we we allow them to get away with so much. And like you said before, Katie and Sharon, you have softcore parenting out there, and when you have softcore parenting out there, you get a lot of disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
So remember what I said before, and I'll say this again. It's not just one element to this. It's everybody element to this. Even though we
Mm-hmm.
didn't pull the trigger, we provided the bullets. Even though we didn't give the bullets to them, we provided it. So we got to curve the so-called method of not only being disrespectful, like I said earlier today, I mean, earlier, there is a segment of black men that that is doing their job that the media is not concentrating on. There is a segment of black men that's doing their responsibility. And like I said before, and I'll say this again, there are organizations that think they speak for us, rally for us, and then you will see the results. Every time we put, like Sharon say, foot in the ass type of method, then we're going to have somebody step forward. My kid, he's a good kid, but if he was that good, then he
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be doing the actions that he's doing now. So now we're looking at a generation of hims and hers, and it's not just him, it's hers too. and
Okay,
and we
let me ask you this question.
mhm,
You got all these kids out here that's doing these crazy things.
right.
Well, what come you got all those kids out there what come you got those kids that don't do it?
Nobody ever hears about those kids. Nobody ever acknowledges those kids. You hear more about things that are going wrong or pointing fingers, but you never hear about the positive things that kids in the community are doing
But why
or
come some young men want a carjack
teenagers
and
are
some
doing.
of them don't?
Because it
Is
doesn't because it
I'm just trying to find out, is it a parenting
because
issue?
they want to do. Well, I think you said this once before or earlier in the conversation when you said you got kids raising kids. where you got a
Mhm.
15-year-old that had a baby at 15, and they just kids themselves. They don't know how to parent. They don't know what to do. So either they're playing it by ear, or they're doing what they know how to do. So if they didn't have good home training, or had a good role model, or someone in their lives to pattern after them, or to show them the appropriate ways to do things, how to act the way to and raise them correctly, then that's what you're gonna get. I can
Mhm.
personally honestly say that I had great parents, great aunts and uncles, and authority figures in my life that showed me the direction of how to go and what to do in life. And those
Mhm.
things trickle down to me, and they trickle down to me. And for me, they trickle down to my kids. Now, if I was one of those parents that was young, wilding out, didn't have a parent, or didn't have nobody to show me how to do certain things, how to clean up, how to act, how to, didn't have that stability in there, I may be one of those parents that have kids that's wilding out and don't know what to do.
Okay, somebody say, how much control does a parent have over a 15-year-old's playlist?
You got a lot of control. To me, you do. And the reason why I said is I have a 13 and a 15-year-old.
Mhm.
And I control everything in their life, because I'm the one that's providing and taking care of them. When they can provide for themselves and do for themselves, then
Mhm.
they can do whatever they want to do. But as long as I'm feeding you, buying your clothes, paying for you to go to school, you got to do what I say. If not, then there's a door. And I remember growing up, I tried to like buck at my mama, and
Mhm.
tried to, I was, as my mom say, smelling my own piss. My mama put me out. And she literally put all my stuff in a garbage bag and told me, get the hell out. You grown, go get grown. And she called my aunties them and told them, don't open the door for me. Don't do none of that.
Ah, what is
Unfortunately,
that?
fortunately, my auntie across the street, my auntie mama across the street had me come over there. But when I went over there, she jumped in my stuff too. She told me, hey, you need to apologize to your mama. You can't do such and such, such and such. You ain't grown. You need to do what you need to do. And as a kid, I learned that, hey, I can't make it in this world without my mama or my dad. Cause ain't nobody gonna love me, ain't nobody gonna treat me or do for me like they will. It was a hard lesson, but I had to learn it. And we don't have parents these days that do that. Yeah, you have parents that'll put you out in the streets and don't care about you, but they put you out. You have parents, the young parents that's like, you grown, get the hell up out of my house. They don't care what you do or where you go.
Okay,
That's when these kids turn to the street, huh?
this person said that they are, I guess, mostly influenced by peers and friends than they are music. Children are influenced by by their peers and their friends. So how much control do you
Mm-hmm.
have over
You can control who your friends are, your kids are friends with.
that?
I mean, it's like with me. My kids are different than anybody else's kids, but most of they know that they know that their friends that they hang out with. I gotta know who you going out with, who your friends is, who their mama is, where y'all live at. Because my kids will
Hmm.
tell you they don't spend the night over nobody's house. You can't spend the
And you know
night.
what?
You got a curfew. You be at home at a certain time.
Let me look at this carjacking. I might want to know why was this young man out there late at night after jacking cars.
It was a
I'm quite
15,
sure.
17-year-old and a 15, 17, and a 13-year-old.
Okay, this carjacking. It don't say on here what time it was. Say he was at a gas station while he and others allegedly tried to carjack someone at 17700 Torrance Avenue in Lansing. But it doesn't give a time. But if you got a 15-year-old, you should still know where he is. I mean, a 15-year-old, whether it's a girl or a boy, they shouldn't be allowed to just roam the neighborhood and go places.
Have we gotten away from? I remember I had to be in the house when the street lights came on. And the street lights come on at what, 4:00, 4:00, 4:30 right now?
Yes. They
My
used to
mom and
say
them
what?
put the fear of God in me when this is how my mom and them was and how strict my mom and them was. We used to, you remember the old street lights? They used to be orange, and then when they started coming on, they were white first, and then they turned orange.
Okay.
Before it got dark. My mama used to say, "Don't let the street light hit you. Don't let the street light catch you." We used to have to be, if them street lights came on and we wasn't in the front of the house or in the front door, we was in trouble. And until to this day, I'm grown. Till this day, you can't catch me outside without late. Like after, if it gets dark or get late, if I'm not out by myself or having an escort or somebody out with me, I don't go outside at all. It's one, it's dangerous. Two, it's like we living in a society where people just don't value life anymore. And especially these young kids, they want to live out Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, all these video games and stuff that they play. They're more influenced by that gangster rap that's on TV, Scarface, and all these gangster movies and reality shows and stuff. That's what's influencing them. And they want to be like these people on TV. That for me, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But maybe it's different because I have girls. But I think even if I had sons, I think I would be even more stricter on them. And I would think that their dad or my uncles or male figures would be the ones that be like, "Hey, we ain't finna have this. Let me holler at you, little bro. Let me teach you how to do this." Or even if the person that I'm dating, I think that he would be one that be like, "Hey, this ain't finna happen. I gotta show you, I gotta prepare, I gotta show you this is what real men do. This is how you do these things. This is the way you do things." And with me being a sister, a Eastern Star, I know some of the brothers in the lodge would be the same way. "Hey, let me holler at you, young fella.
Okay.
Don't act like
Well,
this. This is
Roman,
the way to act."
what I want. Let me ask Roman this. Roman, so how many times did you go to jail when you were a teenager?
Very funny, Katie.
Talking about parenting, I just want to
No,
know how many times did you go to jail
I got
now?
another.
How many
I got.
times did you go to jail, and how many cars did you get?
I got a $50,000 question. And it goes to Sharon. Sharon, you get escorts?
I sure do.
Okay, but you
Because
still
you
didn't
being
answer
funny.
my
But no,
question.
seriously, with
the answer to the question, Katie. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm
I was going
messing
to.
with
Okay, my question to you, Roman, is when you were growing up, how many times did you go to jail? A juvenile, before the age of 15.
Never. I can answer that
Um,
for you.
I would say, and to answer your question, came close. Came
No,
close.
no.
Please.
Hey,
Wait
Roman.
a minute. Wait,
The
wait.
answer is no.
Hold on. Nope. That is not the question that I asked you. I either want a number or I didn't go. Either you went once, twice, three times, or four times, or you didn't go. You might have went
He
10 or
didn't
15.
go.
I
I just
didn't
want to know
go.
how many times did
He
you go to
didn't go. I can
juvenile?
answer that for you.
You never went? You never
No,
went to juvenile?
Roman mama
no.
don't play.
Oh, I know that. But see, I'm just trying to get him to understand where I'm coming from. So how many cars did you jack?
Roman.
I, I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear the
How
question at
many
all. You
cars
froze.
did you jack?
How many cars did you jack? Am I saying
No,
it the right?
He said
no,
none.
I can't really hear you. There's something probably going on with my internet connection.
He's
So,
delayed.
what's the
Put your
question this
earplugs
time?
in. Put your earplugs in. I want you to hear me. Put your earplugs in.
He's delayed, Kathy. Katie. He delayed.
I'm delayed. I can't. I only hearing
Get
you
some
after the fact.
earplugs.
So,
Get your earplugs. You got some earplugs? I'll send you mine through the internet. Here, take these. Get some earplugs.
maybe Sharon, can you tell me what the question is?
She said, do you have earplugs?
Oh, do I have earplugs? Yeah, I have earplugs.
Put your earplugs in.
Sharon asked him if he could put his earplugs in.
Put your earplugs in. So you can hear.
Okay.
He
You
just
think
can't.
it'll help?
Yeah, I know it's gonna help.
Katie,
Now what
Roman
is
mama didn't play. You should have asked him how many times did his mama jack him up. He know his
and
mama, his mama ain't had it.
the reason I'm asking him this, I just want to know how many cars did he jack at 15 years old, or 16 or 17, and I bet he didn't carjack any.
That's what he said. He said 0.
Why? See, there's a reason for this
Can you hear me?
madness.
Yes.
I can hear you very
We
good.
hear
Can you hear me?
Now I'm getting a loud feedback.
Okay, don't worry
I got
about it, then. Don't worry about it.
no. I was getting a loud, and it was kind of. I
Okay,
had to
Roman,
take it off soon as she said something.
you're not
So
getting
I'm,
off
I'm
the hook.
just going to say that one more time.
You're not getting off the hook, and I know you can hear me, and
I'm
I
not. I'm
know
not trying to get off the hook.
and I know
Okay.
He
you.
can hear you
No,
now.
I'm not trying.
You can
He
read
can hear
lips,
you
so
now,
read
Katie.
my lips. Read my lips. How many cars did you jack
If you
between?
stop freezing, I can read your lips.
How many
I'm
cars
sorry.
did you jack?
Okay, I'm sorry. How many cars did you jack between the age of 15 and 17?
Roman's internet is messed up, Katie.
Oh man. See,
But you
if,
already know the answer to how many cars he
if
jacked. You know his
Roman
mom wasn't having that.
didn't do this, if he didn't do any of this when he was growing up, are we okay now? If Roman didn't do any of this stuff when he was growing up,
Now your internet messing up.
mine?
Your
Okay.
internet messing up.
Katie.
Yes,
Katie, your internet is messing up.
it is.
y- y- Yeah, because I can hear every other word, and then when I put my headphones in and you guys say something,
Oh,
You're
what?
fine. We can hear you, Roman.
Let me see.
so
Darcy
Katie's
says
internet is going in
that
and out
you're
now
not
too.
supposed to
It
have
must be
anything.
snowing over.
So I don't have anything open.
Saying my
I'm
bill
on.
is due?
Okay, I can hear you
Now my bill is paid up for 3 months, so I know my bill is
now.
not due.
Uh,
He messing with you.
hold
Mm.
on. Let me
You're fine, Roman. You're fine. We hear you. Turn your volume up
you
or
guys
something.
can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
There you
His
go.
internet
You
messing
see,
up. But we'll start next.
I just want him because he's a man. I want him to tell me why he didn't carjack any cars between the ages of 15 and 18, and why he's going to school getting a doctorate degree, and the rest of these young men are carjacking, stealing, and doing all of this stuff. He's a man. I want him to tell me the difference.
We got to come back
Why he?
on. But
Well,
I'm pretty
I want.
sure. I mean,
You
I
think it's
think
the
just like you said, I
same?
think it's all in the upbringing. It's all in the upbringing and the way
Mm-hmm.
you are raised. If you got somebody that's giving you a positive influence and showing you that there's more out there than the game or hustling or trying to get over on somebody,
Mm-hmm. Wait a
then
minute,
that is going to be a positive
Roman
aspect
say,
of your life.
Roman say this link keeps knocking him off. Hold on, let me
But
make sure.
Roman, I
Go
can
ahead.
honestly say I met Roman's mom, and she's cool, but she's real strict though.
Okay.
Even with his little nephew, Roman is giving an example to his nephew of what you should do in life. Because I'm pretty sure that he's showing that example that you can have a radio show, you can be positive, you can get a master's, you can get a doctorate, you can do all these things that Roman has accomplished, and he ain't got in no trouble. I don't mean to say it like that, but he hasn't gotten in any trouble.
He hasn't
He's
gotten
a pillar
any
in the
trouble.
community. People look up to him. He's interviewed hundreds of media personality, politicians, celebrities. Who wouldn't want
Absolutely.
to do that? So I'm just saying that's my opinion of it. But
It's like
again,
he's always telling me, because we have these conversations often, and the conversations that we have are about what's happening in our community
right.
and the things that we read about young men of color from social media, from hearing it on the news. And when you hear it on the news, you're going to hear it all day. It's repetitive.
And the news
So I
always
just
highlights the negative. Like
they do.
I haven't seen very many positive segments on adults or not adults, but young adults and young people that are doing positive things in the community. Over Christmas, when at my grocery giveaways, doing the grocery giveaways and having the young men and the young men and young ladies come out and volunteer. You know, I've had young people that have come up to me and said, wow, I never knew this was a really eye-opening experience. I never knew people were hungry like this. It felt good to give away food. It felt good to hear somebody say to them, thank you. I never knew I was trying to figure out how I was going to put food on the table this week. And to have young people experience that and to have them to give food away to somebody, it shows them that, hey, I can do something with my life. I ain't got to slang and bang. I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to do that. I can do positive things with my life. And that's one of the things that I try to instill in my kids is that you want to be a pillar in the community. You want to show positivity and not negativity in the community. You want to be that beacon or that icon or that example that your peers can say, hey, you know, Ashira is doing this. She's going to Clark. She's doing this and she's helping out the community. She's giving away food, giving away clothes and food and shoes and stuff to the homeless people. We're not
Mm-hmm.
being selfish, but this is something that we're doing. We're learning how to do it. And I don't think very many young people or even kids think about or have or think about that, there are people out there that are less fortunate than them. So
You know about that?
when I have the opportunity to show young people and even show kids that, hey, it doesn't take that much for you to be to make a positive impact in the community. Do that. I one of my princess, one of my princes, the toddler princess, she inspires me because she gave away chips this weekend, even though it was small and she's only like 5. She's only 5, but in her own little way, she gave away chips to like people that were less fortunate. Even though it's chips, it's 5, but she's learning to give to the community. She's learning to give back. Even at Christmas, when we did the toy giveaway, we brought all the young people. We brought the young people out to help the kids pick out toys. They
Mm-hmm.
picked out toys and they realized that, hey, it's other kids that are my age that don't have a place to stay. They don't have clothes. They don't have shoes. So let me help them by, helping them pick out a pretty princess pair of shoes or giving a backpack or a toy. That's something that I think that for me, I'm instilling and I want to give for young people to do so that they have something positive to do or an example of this is what we do in the community. This is how we do things in the community. And that is what's lacking in a lot of young people these days. They don't have positive role models. They don't have anybody to model after them and say, hey, I want to be like that. I want to do that. I want I want to see this. And that's why I try as much as I can in my role as Miss Illinois to do those positive things and to be that example where young girls can say, I ain't got to walk. I ain't got to shake my ass. I ain't got to, do all of
Mm-hmm.
these things to make a difference. I don't have to become Facebook famous or internet star, take my clothes off and do all this to get attention. I can get
Mm-hmm.
attention by doing great things, by doing positive things, by making a difference, by showing somebody that the greatest thing out of the inauguration that I will forever keep, and my kids talk about it all the time, is Michelle Obama's outfit.
Oh, wasn't it awesome?
She
Wasn't it?
was a shining example of being fully clothed, looking professional, looking beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
my kids was like, Mom, I want to dress, I want an outfit like that. I want to look like that. Ooh, her hair was laid. She didn't have
Yeah.
on no she wasn't
A,
revealed.
a great role model, a great role model
Yes.
for any woman, any young girl. But we're always talking about. I mean, it's just so many carjackings that are going on, and the sad thing about it, they're not even they're not even carjacking brand new cars.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, what is the point? You jacking a car for what? To joyride. And what has been happening too is they still carjacking all these cars and stealing all these cars and having car accidents that are actually killing people.
Absolutely.
The somebody showed me that this morning. The accident, it's in front of a church that we did a giveaway on 100 and something.
Mhm.
That it was a stolen car.
What?
Yes, it was a stolen car. The guy is in critical condition. You should see the car is wrapped around a pole. The car that hit them was stolen. The guys got out of it and ran. And this man was
Wow.
innocent. This young man was real innocent. Now he in critical condition because somebody was in a stolen car acting crazy. and probably carjack somebody. Well, I don't know. I'm just speculating. But you tearing you ending disrupting somebody else's life because you want to go have fun. You want to steal a car. Because how much money can you get from jacking a Uber car?
The thing is, there was a time when they were stealing cars and they would take them to chop shops. Because I'll never forget when I first came to Chicago. I had a very very nice Monte Carlo, a very nice,
You look like you
very
had a
nice.
color.
I did, girl. Listen, I didn't even know what I had myself. I
Roman
had
said
a, I had,
the internet not
I
letting
had
him.
like a 1975 Monte Carlo, and it was 1975.
That's when I
It
was
had
born.
Craigers, and Goodyear tires with the raised white letters. I didn't even know what all it was till after it
White
got stole,
walls.
and that's when I found out. And my car, it ended up in a chop shop, and I had a Grand Prix. I didn't even have it 6 months. Okay, brand new cars, but now they're stealing any kind of car. They
But
could be 20.
that's what I have the same question you got. Like, what are you getting out of it? I understand that you robbing the people, but
Right,
what are you getting out of it? What is the
right.
point? I can understand if you carjacking like a Mercedes or a BMW, a Lexus or something like that, an Affinity truck. Y'all taking BS. They carjacking people for BS. Is it just to have a joyride? Is just for
The
the
thing,
thrill of it?
the thing that really bothers me. What if they kill somebody? Come on back in here, Roma. Come on
There he
back in
goes.
here.
Ta-da! I'm back.
All right, you back for good
What'd you
this
do?
time.
Move?
Huh?
You moved to a different part of the house?
No, actually, I basically got a chance to.
Oh, and got on his
Yeah,
computer.
yeah, I brought my laptop in, so
Now, isn't
Oh,
this
okay.
better?
That's better.
yeah,
My laptop too.
yeah. I'm deeply sorry. I was like, huh, what? And Katie was like, and ah, oh,
Is there something wrong with the internet now?
huh?
So what we were talking about to catch you back up, we were talking about she was asking a question of what's the difference in you and young men that are carjacking people? Why is it that you are working on a doctorate, you got your master's, you doing all these positive things in the community? What was the difference for you? And we fronted it from a male's perspective.
Someone I would say this from me, and I only can speak for me. And I
Okay.
know there's plenty of men like me out there that says it got to stop. You got to try your best. It's not easy to break the cycle. Like my late brother, I mean, he passed away, and the stories that my late brother had, and you look at my relatives, and you look at them, the generational thing, and I try my best to get my nephew. You're I'll be damned if I'm going to allow you to go in that path where I
Let me
see
say that.
several other because he doesn't have a father. So I was like begging my sister, like, let me be his godfather. Let me because practically I raised him. And Katie, you met him before, and Sharon, you met him before, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I teach him everything from Black history on down. And one of the things that for many Black males like myself, and again, I'm only speaking for me, the cycle has to stop with the womanizing. The cycle has to stop because if you talk to men and they'll be brutally honest with you, they'll say, well, my father used to womanize and I thought that's the way to
That's
go.
what we do.
Right. I saw my father beat the hell out of me, so I thought that was
That's
the
what you do.
ways, and that cycle has to break. We got to break the cycle. That's why when it comes to music that we talked about earlier, when it comes to the society ills, and we talked about this offline, Katie, the isms. Define your isms in the Black community. There's a lot of isms that defines the Black community. You got to define your isms, whether it's individualism, separatism, collectivism, and you just got to define your isms. What made me decide to go into the path? Because sometimes there's one child that say, I'm not going to be like that. And it's etched in their head. And let me tell you, Sharon and Katie, that it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard because I never went to jail. That never means I never got stopped by police and handcuffed. You know, but the image of someone that never want to go down that path, the image of a police officer putting you in handcuffs, that would mentally that says something. If you listen to the woman, and I'm glad I thought of this because I wanted to share this with you guys. This African American woman over the summer, the police came out blazing with our children in a minivan, told them to get out the car, lay on the ground, and guns was like on their back. And now they have to get psychological care because they can't sleep at night. So the image of,
and it was wrong too.
You fit a description for any Black man, no matter if you're in a straight and narrow, it makes you go down the wrong path because some men, and I'm not saying this for everybody, I'm just speaking for me. That's why I said it depends, Katie. And the reason why you could be on the straight and narrow, but if the police officer keeps on saying you fit a description, you fit a description, you fit a description, and you're like, look at that man over there and look at me. Yep. Do I look like him? The answer is no.
But your color.
Exactly. Your color. Exactly. And a lot of times we need to understand what a Black man goes through. I felt the woman's pain when she was on the news crying and seeing the image of a 6-year-old handcuffed behind her back on the ground,
and it was wrong. And and what was so, I should say, fucked up about it was the fact that it was mistaken description.
Right.
It was mistaken description. They said they were looking for a car. They were looking for a car with men in it, and it was a lady and all her kids, and they traumatized her and all her kids. Put them in handcuffs. Made them lay on the floor, everything. Even and they did not issue an apology, nothing.
Now they issued early tonight. They issued an apology because the woman's suing them.
I would sue them too.
And that's the problem right there. You shouldn't have to bring a lawsuit in order for to get a reaction. Like you effed up, policeman.
But nobody wants to admit when they are wrong.
Exactly.
So to save face, they tried to spin it as though she was the one that was shoplifting or whatever. Just like the case in Brickyard. the lady, they got the glass in her eye that they snatched out of the car that they
Right.
said was looter. That girl is permanently blind in one eye because they broke the window out. And they like, I mean, even if that was me, if I got all these police cars surrounding me, I'm gonna be scared as hell to get out of my car because I don't know what's going on. I'm a woman, I'm with my kids. We trying to get something, and they telling me get out the car. They got guns and stuff all around me. I'm going to be afraid. And then on top of that, you snatch me out of my car and you arrest me and you charge me for something that I did not do, and you refuse to apologize to me when you found out that I ain't even a looter.
And we got to stop this. We fit the description. We fit the description. They tell the description over the wire, over the walkie-talkie, whatever you call it. And it's kind of
Let me
like,
tell you something. On the back of your driver's license, when they scan your
let me say
when
this.
they scan your driver's license, trust me, I know when they scan your driver's license and put your information in there, everything pops up and shows up. Your pictures show up. I have a FOIA card. I have a FOIA card that shows up. I have security clearance that shows up. When I was married, my husband was in the military. When they put his name in there, here's a whole military background and everything show up on there. So that's a lie when they say that.
Well, let me tell you, psychologically, as long as we are people of color, okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna always
with
look
that color.
Well, no, but it's true. I don't care how you sugarcoat it or what you say. It is true. What she's saying is true. I don't care. Me being a light bright.
Look, this is not being racist. This is the truth.
True.
There is nothing racist about what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you, as long as you are a person of color, okay? This is something that will never go away. And you know why it's not going to go away? They just showed you that on January the 6th, when they went to Washington and took over the White House, they just showed you then racism has been laying dormant. Somebody done wiped that grass and it's done woke up in full force. Okay.
And I think they will never impeach Trump. They won't.
They can impeach him. They're just never gonna get him to trial. He's
right.
been impeached.
People are scared because you gotta look at it like this. And somebody explained this to me earlier today. The Republicans are not going to vote to find this man guilty. One, you gotta look, they scared. You gotta look. When they went there on January the 6th, they was going there to kill and hang the vice president, Nancy Pelosi. What's the other dude? They were going there to kill them and hang them. They wasn't going there to just pat them on the head and say, "Oh yeah, okay, we can." If they was going there to kill these people, so I really say those Capitol Police and the guys that kept them from going into that to that chamber, yeah, they did their damn thing. I'm sorry, and the lady who the Secret Service shot. I understand why they shot her ass now. These weren't just, these Trump people aren't just normal people. They're ex-military. No, they're police officers. They're people with training and different things like that. They just not know everyday regular hillbillies out in the corner or where. These people went down there with guns. They went down there with a plan to take over. What the hell protest, that don't have a whole
right? Well, it wasn't ordinary guns though. It was assault rifles. It was shotguns and
exactly. Now imagine, if that was black and brown folks, and I'm just saying it like it is. That was us. Our asses have never got past the carpet.
That would have been a bloodbath. All we had to do was step out the car with a gun.
But they came fully armed to the White House. I mean, not the White House. Fully armed. Yeah, that was at the White House.
Fully armed at the White House. They went to a Trump
they fully armed with that. And then this fool tell them to go down there and take back your country, and they go down there, bus loads of people. It wasn't like, and they keep trying to make it seem like this was something that was a spur of the moment. This stuff was playing. Did you read those T-shirts?
It was planned, and I believe it was an inside job, because when Trump says, if I were you, I will go down there right now to the Capitol, and I will march with you.
Okay.
And his scary butt went straight into the car and carried his ass back to the White House, where So what I'm saying, Sharon, is basically this.
Okay.
When the Black Panthers did this, they set laws and legislation saying you cannot bring any type of weapon inside of the Capitol. Remember, the Black Panther Party did that.
Mm-hmm.
And they got away, and they knew their law.
When the Nation of Islam did the Million Man March and the Million Family March, you had to watch. I know, because I didn't go to the Million Man March. I went to the Million Family March and the Million Women March. When we went and did that, they had metal detectors and stuff, and was checking people for guns. So what I don't understand, and how I know I agree exactly with what you're saying, is that how the hell you got bus loads of people that are showing up with guns, not handguns, but guns. Say it like that. It's crazy. But then you think about it, you're absolutely right, it's an inside job. Did you see the videos that they posted where they show video cameras of all the different sections of the protest?
Yeah, I saw it, and there's more video supposed to come out. But I want excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, going too fast. Stop thinking that way, Katie. So I know your mind, Katie. So I almost lost my train of thought thinking. So here's the thing. When Trump is the president and the commander-in-chief, what comes out of his mouth when he said, I'm going down such and such? Mm-hmm. The Secret Service and the Capitol Police they have to. That's what they sworn and protect. The president of the United States and the legislatures, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you are sworn duty. So if the commander-in-chief says X, Y, and Z, you got to do it. And even though you disagree, if you don't do it, they call it what? Insubordination. Mm-hmm. And that's what I truly think, because if some of the Capitol Police was in on it, saying, "Olay, go right in."
Yeah, but
some of the police and some of the Capitol Police were not in on it, and that was the guy that shot the woman. That was the African American
Secret Service that shot her.
Right. But the Capitol Police that took the mob away.
Right. It was 60. They had if I'm not mistaken, 63 Capitol Police officers were injured, and then the one that was killed. But yeah, I'm look. They show more as they're doing this trial or trying to do it. A lot of stuff that we don't know about is starting to
Mm-hmm.
come out into the light.
But
Like they're really saying, they're really showing how bad that day actually was. What we've seen on social media and what we've seen in the media
it's a
is
piece of
like
cake.
it's like the PG version.
But let me say this, and let me go further, Katie and Sharon.
I'm
When
listening.
when we look at those Capitol pictures, there were an African American men. For the life of me, I still don't understand why he was there. But it lets you know the two justice systems that we have. The white woman that stole Nancy Pelosi's computer that contained
Mm-hmm.
secret information, she's out awaiting for trial. The
They
African
not gonna
American,
convict her though.
the African, and yeah, you're absolutely right. But
They not gonna convict her. That I
here's
just
the
saw that
sad
on
part.
social media.
Here's
They're
the
not gonna
sad
convict her. The
part.
FBI is still deciding.
But here's the sad part. The sad part is the guy, the African American that was wielding a bat inside, didn't hit nobody, didn't touch nobody. He was just waving a bat. He's still in jail. How come he's still in jail?
That
And
the dude that was just standing around, the dude that was just standing
he's still in
around
jail
looking,
too.
You just
and he
said why he was still in jail.
and
Say
he even
again. Make
said
that statement again. The
he
what?
actually
African
he actually
who?
wasn't.
American who was willing the bat. He's still in jail. The
Yep.
African American who was willing the bat is still in jail.
Well,
But
that
And
the
then
should
white
the
teach him a
one dude
lesson,
that was there,
and that should teach him a
out.
lesson. And that should teach him a lesson that not all white people are your friends.
and the one that looked like Kane from Power, his
Yeah.
ass in jail. But he actually just was being nosy. He said
Well,
he was
that's what
being
he get for
nosy.
being nosy. That's what he
He
get.
said,
I'm not.
He said,
I
I
don't
was there.
sympathize with them.
Okay, what
But
was
you
you
know what
saying?
I would do? You know what I would do if I was
He
Biden?
said he was being nosy.
If
He
if
wanted
I was Biden, if I was Biden, if I was him, or if I was Kamala Harris,
Mm-hmm.
I would go to Biden's office, or I would say, you know what? This is not right what these judges are doing. This is not
Oh,
right. It's not right.
Well,
Get
you know
these men out of
the
jail.
justice
It's
system
not
does
right.
not.
you
And
know
and,
what
and
it's called?
Will
Being
never
in the wrong
never
place
be on the side
at the
of right
wrong
about
time.
people.
but you know what? It to me, to be honest with you, it's to prove a point. And this is what I said on my show. I said this a long time ago. We need a prosecution reform. People who prosecute, and some of these people who were marching were attorneys. People
Yeah,
who were marching
you got
are
people that
judges.
was
Were
they were
judges.
judges, attorneys. They had
Right.
they owned companies.
And the sad part about it.
Roman.
Yeah.
So you don't think that racism is in the court system? Because you were saying they were judges, some of them were attorneys. So you don't think that I listen, our
It
our
goes back to
prison
my point, isms, Katie.
wait a minute. Okay, ism, and the biggest ism is racism. Now you made me say it. I didn't want to say it. But that's one of the biggest isms in the United States of America. Racism. It is embedded in the DNA of America. Everything that America has done from the time that Columbus came here and said that he discovered America has been a lie. So they've lied all this time. So one of the biggest isms there is racism. And once you look at racism, all the rest of the isms fall right in behind it.
I agree. I agree.
Oh,
What? Huh? What you
I
thought I was
couldn't
gonna?
believe
I agree. I
that.
mean, we're on the same side with this, and the reason why we're on the same side is because we need to do something about the racist judges that's in the judicial system. We need to do something about the prosecution, and that's why we need to set something up federally, but also statewide. I'm going whenever Kim Fox come back on my show, I will ask that. Why not?
But I want to get back. Now that you back in full force and you ready to get funky, I still want to tell you. I just want to know that why some young men can, oh, excuse me, can do anything. They can carjack. They can be out late at night. They can come home with clothes and mama didn't give them the money and she don't question them. They can have all kind of stuff that nobody questions how they got it, and they can bring it into the home. Somebody should ask that child, where did you get that from? Where did you get that money? And at 15, you should be in the house early. You shouldn't be out there late at night. I just want to know, how come Johnny can do it, but Roman didn't do it? And how come Johnny is still doing it and Roman is over here finna get his doctorate degree? Now, wait a minute, is it parent? Can we should we look at parenting? Because this carjacking thing, it has me scared. And I'm not gonna lie, it has me so scared that basically I won't go somewhere unless I got somebody with me. So I just want to know why this one set of young men that I always got to hear about them or read about them doing all this negative stuff. But there's this other set of young men over here that don't do this. Tell me why. And maybe if I knew why, maybe something is happening at home.
It could be a variety of reasons for that. And sad to say is what Sharon said earlier. You can say it's the softcore parenting. You can also say the emulation of I'm entitled. I'm entitlement, meaning I'm not used to getting no for an answer. So if I've been raised of my mom, she feels guilty and she says yes to everything because she's out doing what she needs to do and so forth and so on. So I'm playing video games. I'm playing this and bang, bang, bang. And then I'm hanging with friends that get away with a lot of stuff. It starts with the softcore stuff like stealing a bag of potato chips. And it graduates to that. So it's just like and I hate to say this, but I am going to say this. It goes back to what happened a couple of weeks ago. That this guy actually started purging. Looked people, and he's on Facebook Live saying, should I kill this person? Should I kill that person? Should I kill this person? And should I kill that person? And he was laughing about that. He got some kicks out of that. But it didn't start from there, Katie. It started from the small things that he got away with.
When he was younger?
Yeah, when he was younger. It started.
But why didn't he get away with him? Was it a parenting thing?
It's
Then he
not
got
just
away.
parenting. It's not just, you just can't blame everything on parenting, because it's a whole host of things that's built up like a helium in balloon. And if you
Mm-hmm.
keep blowing it up and up and up and up, it explodes. And
Low.
that's where we are right now with our children, because it's kind of like, okay, you do a good job, Sharon, with your children, but that doesn't mean Shaniqua over there is not doing a good job, because she's watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she thinks this is how black women supposed to act. This is
Right.
how
You
this is
can't.
how black men supposed to act. So it goes back to my point earlier, where I say we got the internet, we got the television, we got the music industry, all bombarded, raising our children, and they're used to saying yes. Yes, you can have this. Yes, you can do this. And then when somebody says no, or you don't have the funds, you're going to take. So if I don't have money for a bag of potato chips, I'm going to take. If I don't have the new pair of Jordans, I'm going to take. If
Even
I
though you know
don't get,
your mother, even though you know your mother's gonna discipline you, you still
sometimes
gonna
the
take.
mother don't give a damn, Katie.
Okay, okay.
Sometimes the parents don't give a damn. There
So
are
it's a
parents that,
parenting.
well, I'm not saying it's just parenting, Katie. You want me to say it,
Okay.
but it's not just parenting. It's
I'm
a it's
It's
a
how
buffet.
you parent. It's how you
It's
parent
it's
and the
a
way you
just,
buffet of everything. It's
right.
how
Just
you
like
parent.
you
It's
said,
what
it's
do
a
you mean,
buffet.
Sharon? What do you
It's a buffet of everything. And it's kind of like, you once you go to a buffet, you just don't get the fried chicken. You just don't get
right,
the peas. You just don't get the collard greens. You just
right,
don't get the cornbread. You get the macaroni. Then you want to go back for more because that's good. So you want to go
okay.
back for seconds. So it goes back to my point earlier. Imagine that buffet is a child, and they're used to getting away, and your appetite gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and the crime gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not
and
a I'm not a psychologist to basically go deep analytical on this, but again, it goes back to what's out here right now. Like you said, it's the drill music. It's part of that.
Okay.
It's part of everything. And here's the thing. When they're used to saying, I'm okay, I'll give you another example. There was this young woman in New York, just walked in the store, getting something to eat, getting a snack, getting some for her baby, tired. There was a group of guys that said, I want that. Damn, she got a nice ass. She walked out. They crowded her. And she said, I'm not on that. I just want to go home to my children. I just want to go home to my children.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, so you like that? You stuck up now. You don't want to talk to me, right? Because guess what? She said no. Now he's going to take. You know, they beat her.
Oh
They beat
wow.
her to smithereens. And here's the thing, in New York, the news got out, and these black men are looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. It's kind of like back in the day, there's this thing called justice, and there's this thing called street justice. There is no street justice anymore. You get what I'm saying? There is no, for your action for killing this baby, for your actions of beating this man,
Mm-hmm.
there's street justice. It used to be like that. And remember, there were gangs and there were leaders in gangs that didn't play that mess. Because if you mess with Miss Thompson that's 70 years old, oh, that's your ass.
Mm-hmm.
If you mess with Miss Jones, that's your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And if you mess with a child that goes back and forth to school and they see prospects in them, they'll say, leave him alone. Let me
Okay.
catch you doing that. We don't have that anymore. So that's why I say it's a smorgasbord of everything that you can imagine that's blown up into a balloon. What we don't have, that we used to have, the things that like, because there's no father at the home, I'm used to giving and giving. I'm going to make sure, because I didn't have when I was a child, I'm going to make sure you get everything. You see what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a parent, so the question should be with Sharon. You probably know some women like that, because they say, well, I didn't have this growing up. I'm going to make sure my child gets everything, and I'm going to make sure. And they don't realize that's a starting point of saying, I can get anything that I want from my mom, or my mom doesn't care if I bring this thought over there. My mom is at work 24/7.
Oh
She
wow.
Right,
won't know.
but see, that's because you got kids that are being raised by TV. You got kids that are being raised by their grandparents instead of the parents raising their kids, or you got kids being raised by the babysitters. And that's the issue and the problem with a lot of young people is you got kids raising kids. You got a
Mm-hmm.
15-year-old that had a baby. You got a 15-year-old that had a baby. Her mom, you got mom, and it's funny because I'm in my 40s, and out of all my kids' friends, I think I'm the youngest mama. I know I'm the oldest mama. All of the other mothers are younger, and so I had my kids late in life. So it's weird to me that there's parents that are in their 30s or not, but they grandparents. And that's just kind of I just
Yeah.
can't fathom that. I understand that you have problems may happen and you have kids that have they get pregnant or whatever in those situations and do whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but that has become me growing up, that was like an oddity. Like now that is commonplace to have a 15-year-old that's pregnant or a 14-year-old that's pregnant. For me growing up, that was something like 14, 15-year-olds. I'm thinking about still playing with dolls and stuff like that. I ain't thinking about sex or none of that stuff. But today, you got kids that are hypersexual, that are they can't wait to get them to break them off a little something. We have gotten away from the old school way of learning. We gotten away from the old school way of parenting. I don't know, Miss Katie,
And parents
growing
don't
up,
discipline, right?
huh?
A lot of parents, I shouldn't say
But you
don't
an auntie
discipline,
though.
but
You an
a lot
auntie
of
though.
parents are afraid to whip their children.
Right. That's what I'm
But
saying.
they're supposed to kick butts, right?
And then, like you said earlier, I am not my kids' friends, and I tell them that all the time. You ain't my friend. Don't you ain't finna talk to me like I'm your friend. We ain't finna have a conversation. I'm there for you. I turn up for you. I rock and roll with you, but I'm still your mom, and you gonna respect me as that. You gonna treat me as that. I don't care
And,
how old my kids get. They still my kids. They still gotta do what mama say do.
and Katie, and
Yes.
Sharon, the elements that's out here is kind of like, you can have all the positivity in the world, but they're bombarded with so many bad elements that's out there that you sometimes it's kind of like, man, it's hard to deprogram. It
But
really is.
it's
It's, I
not
mean,
really, because, for example, you got your nephew. You're a positive role model in his life. You can't tell me if your nephew come to you today, if your nephew come home with a pair of Jordans on his feet, you know his mama didn't buy him. You know you didn't buy him. You know your mama didn't buy him. Aren't you going to question and say where the hell that came from?
Absolutely.
Or you gonna be like, oh, them some slick shoes? Cause me, first thing I'm gonna be like, where the hell you get that from? And wherever you got it from, you better take it back.
the
Cause I ain't buying
answer
for you.
the answer would be yes, I would. And there are sometimes that, as a parent or something like that, saying, you know what, maybe I'll let that person slide or something like that. And that is the problem. That
I
is the
ain't letting nothing
problem.
slide.
Wait a minute. Why
Because
would you, if a
why
kid
would
came home with a $200 pair of Jordans, you gonna let him
I
slide?
never said that. I never said that. I
Oh, I
said,
get.
that's what we
I'm sorry.
asking
I heard
you.
that word.
no,
I
I
don't know
said,
where I heard.
yes, I will ask him where he got it from. I
And then
said,
what did you say? Maybe I'll do what?
I said, yes, I would say, where did you get those Jordans from? But
Uh, I thought I heard. I thought I heard you say something like you said. I don't know. Maybe I was just hearing things. I thought I heard somebody say something about
did you eat
maybe
your
I let.
brownie today?
No, I
No,
didn't.
no,
I need to go back.
you,
I need to go back to
Katie,
one.
you right. He was saying that you have parents. Katie, he was
I
saying
did
that
because
you
you
have
were.
parents out there that would be like, "Oh, that's okay," and wouldn't say nothing about it. You did
Right.
hear that.
That's what
Oh,
exactly what I was saying.
yeah, now, yeah. Somebody, yeah. You can't. You do have some out there that was that, and probably some was saying, "You got any extra dollars? Give me a for my pocket." You
Uh-uh.
probably got some that
Because
was
the
saying
thing
that.
is,
Oh, girl.
and the thing is, if you accept that, then that means you accept anything.
And saying, okay, I
So
agree with you on that.
if you train your kids, and somebody says this to me all the time, you teach people or you train people the way to treat you. If you teach your kids and train them that you not want to be messed with, you not finna bring the foolery to you, and that you demand respect, they're gonna be disciplined, they're gonna do this. You train them and teach that that's what they're going to expect. But
Okay.
if you allow your kids to get away with stuff and to get,
Mhm.
then they're gonna know that, hey, I can get away with this. I can bring this to my mom and she ain't gonna say nothing.
Exactly.
But if it starts off with a pair of gym shoes, if it starts off with a pair of gym shoes, what if I bring a bag of weed in the house? What if I bring some crack cocaine in the house? If you accepting me
Ooh.
bringing
well,
you some gym
if it's
shoes in there,
weed, Katie will
then you
take
gonna
it.
accept,
Yeah.
then you accept me
Nah, I
bringing
don't
some
like
other
the
stuff.
weed. I like
I'm
the
just saying,
edibles,
I'm not saying
though.
that's me, but I'm saying that's how.
I don't like the weed. I don't like the smoke the weed, but I do enjoy. Since you want
Miss
to
Kathy,
put
you
that in
know
the
what I
conversation.
mean. I'm just saying that what
No,
you
no,
accept.
he's being sarcastic, honey. It ain't. Listen, let me take my glasses off and get a good look at my face, honey. It ain't no shame in my game. I am 70 years old and I will eat your fucking edibles. You just go to that candy store next time.
No, you missing my whole point.
Okay? Now, he's
You
being
bring
funny.
edibles to Katie's
Did I
house.
have my did
Bring
I have my
bring it
brownie
on
for the day?
home to Katie,
But
and
that's
Katie
not
will
my point.
mess it
That's
up.
not
It
the
ain't no,
point I'm
it ain't no
making.
I mean,
The
hey, it
point
ain't
I'm
no
making
shit.
is
I
that
love
if
them
you
edibles.
start to accept certain things, if you allow your kids to do certain things and you allow them to get away with certain things, the small things will lead up to bigger things. And they're going to expect you to say, okay, that's all right, that's okay. And then you do have them parents out there that kids bring in some joy. They mama know they out there on the corner hustling. But if I give my mama this $800 to pay our rent, my mama gonna look the other way.
And the big question is, where do we go from here in the Black home?
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? Because, like I said before, we're bombarded with so much negativity. It's hard to find positivity.
But
And one of the things that I challenge one of the producers, huh?
You talk.
Oh, um, I challenge one of the producers on my show that bass drill music, because they said it's so many bad elements. You can't get your music out. You can't get positive music aired. And I said, that's not true. That's not true at all. Because there are so many media outlets, especially here in Chicago, that you can get your music played. Look at what happened to Chance the Rapper. Nobody didn't play his music at first. Look at what's his name? I forgot other artists that was out there. Master P started selling his albums in a trunk. Same thing with MC Hammer. And look at them now. What I'm saying is that we always want something handed to us that's so like given to us that we forget the hard work, like paved the way. I don't want my child to work hard like I worked hard. And that's part of the problem, I believe, Sharon. So what you think?
Yep. And I agree with you on that, because I feel the same way, that for my kids, I want my kids to understand and know that I worked hard for everything that I got, and I want the best for my kids. So I want them to see that this is what hard work and determination does. This is what you get, because nothing is going to be handed to you, and nothing is free. Nothing in life is free. You have to work for everything that you get. So, and then on top of that, everything isn't always going to be easy. It's going to be a struggle. You're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs, but those ups and downs is what make you stronger. Those ups and downs is what make you determined to do better and to be better, because we are not perfect. No one can say that they are perfect people. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from our setbacks. We learn from all of the things that happen to us. So that is what we as adults and as of us older, being an older generation now, that's what we have to instill in our kids. We have to let them know, and for them to understand that nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is easy. We have to work for everything that we want, everything that we need. It's not going to be handed to you. So to get out there and say, I'm going to go buy me this Glock, and if I get this Glock, I'm going to go out and carjack somebody and take this car because this is easy. Okay, you rob somebody, you take their car, you jack them. What you going to end up? You end up either going to get killed or you going to end up in jail. What is that going to get you?
Well, let me say this. The reason that they do it, and it goes back, they get away with it. This is not their first time carjacking
but
people.
You may get away with it the first time.
But
you may get away with it.
They don't realize
but your ass gonna catch a bullet the third or the fourth time, just because you think
and they don't. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sharon.
Just like that little dude yesterday. Yeah, he didn't probably jack some people before. Got it, like you said, 1, 2, 3 times. This is probably the fourth time or fifth time. His ass caught a bullet, and what he at? 6 feet under, because his dumb ass was trying to do something stupid. Because what jacking a car, taking a car, what would it get him? What did he get him? A couple $100. You can't drive it once you jack a car. What you gonna do with it? unless you know
Joyride,
they're on the
Yeah,
train
that's
joyride,
a,
or
about.
commit a crime.
but let me say
Joyride and
this.
commit a crime, and that's what they're using it for.
Right.
Let me say this.
And what
Let-
are the two things that lead to? Jail or to the grave?
Right.
Yeah, let me say this. And the sad thing about it is somebody has fed those minds that while you are, what is it, under 16, you do things
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna take you to juvenile and your mama gonna come get you, right? But see, they don't understand. They need to learn something about this system,
Illinois
this
didn't
this
change
this
that law now.
incarceration, this incarceration system. You see, all those things that you do as a juvenile, they say they look over them, but they wait until you turn 17. And when you commit that crime at 17, believe me, the stuff that you did when you was 15 and 16, they didn't flush that down the toilet. As a matter of fact, it was stuck on a
Mm-mm.
hard drive somewhere. Okay? So when you
They
turned
didn't change that
17,
law
when
now,
you
Miss Cat.
committed that crime, they sent you your first time in prison. Okay? Because they wait till
They
you're
didn't change that
17.
law now, though. They didn't
Huh?
change that. They didn't change that law now. You at young age, they can treat you as
Listen, of
they
course.
can treat you as an adult now.
Listen, this is America. They may have changed the law on the books, but believe me, this is America. And those little black code laws, they might have changed them on the books, but they still enforce those things.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you could talk to some of the men that probably have been incarcerated, some of them might tell you that when they were a juvenile, they did this and they did that. But when they got 17, they committed a crime, and guess where they ended up going? Prison. Because they waited for them. And that's the sad part about it.
And here's the other sad part about it. People like going back and forth to Cook County Jail.
Because that's
That's
all they
because
know.
Pontiac.
they,
That's
That's
all.
all
Yeah,
they know.
that's all they know.
that's
They like it. They can see their
That's all
buddies.
they know. They don't know how to.
They can.
And I know somebody personally that has came home from being in jail for 20 years. He don't know how to use a cell phone. Don't know how to use a cell phone. Don't know how to use a computer. Like this outside world is completely and totally different for him. And that's all they know. But he do know one thing. He know he's not going back. But the world has changed since he went in. Hell, it was in the 80s when he went into prison. Now we're in the 2000s. We didn't have
but
paid.
it's it's I just keep hate. I hope y'all don't think that. Well, I am kind of scared though, but it's a sad thing that every time we turn around, and I was reading an article up the other day, and they just had all these carjackings, all of them together, showing you times and dates, and it was very ugly. It was very ugly to read.
We
Okay.
have 300. I'm looking at the statistics. We have since 2020, since March
Hmm.
of 2020, we have
Uh-huh.
over 368 carjackings from March of 2020 until now. This is the second highest carjackings in the state of in Chicago, not the state of Illinois, in over
In
2 years. We had more carjackings last year than we've had in 2 years combined.
And people forget
Now,
it's a
what I'm saying, do you
pandemic.
think?
Yeah,
It's a
it is a pandemic.
it's a
It's a
I mean,
pandemic,
pandemic.
and the question and the question should be, what the hell they're doing now in a pandemic like that? There were still shootings and murders that was still during the
going along
pandemic.
before the pandemic.
Right. And
Well,
it
now
goes.
people don't have money. People don't have money now, and they're desperate now. So, like they
Oh,
say,
you know what? When people say they don't have money, and I can agree to disagree, because when they decided to loot downtown, they was already scoping the place, and I was
yeah, but the
downtown.
thing is, with that,
They went
looting was
inside
quick,
Nordstrom's. They went
and
inside
you know
Tiffany.
half that stuff
They
was on eBay and Facebook Marketplace the next day. It was so many
right.
people selling all that stuff they looted. Boosters was running the muck after they
Right.
started looting that
So
stuff. So I don't know. But
my
anyway, but
thing
what
is.
I didn't mean to cut you off. But what I'm saying is, since this pandemic has started, since this
Mhm.
pandemic has started, we are actually we're actually poor. There's more people poor and living below the poverty level than any time. Dealing with it every before the pandemic, you know, we were feeding the community. We was giving food to the community. We were feeding 100 to maybe 200 families on a Saturday once a month. When this pandemic hit, we went from feeding 100 to 200 families to 300 to 500. And then when it got close to Christmas, we was 800 to 1,000 families. People, I mean, and we've had people that have come up to us and said, I've never would have thought I would be going to a food bank or a food pantry. I never would have thought that I would be in a situation where I'm making a decision or a choice between paying my rent and putting food on my table. You literally have people now that are making life and death choices of food, medication, and paying the rent. And what I get so incensed about and what I get so upset about is we have all of these political people enrolled in making decisions for us poor, and I'm gonna say black, brown, I'm saying poor people, period. They're making these decisions and saying, hey, well, I'm not going to give these people the $2,000 because they don't need $2,000. You can't make that decision for me. You're not in my shoes. You're a multimillionaire. You still getting a check. We in a pandemic. You still getting a 200 a month. You're still getting a check. So it's like, why you making a decision and why you speaking for me? I can't pay. You can't say, well, I don't give me $1,800 because 600. I can make it on $600. I'd rather be on unemployed. You rather be unemployed and get an unemployment check than working, which is not true. They don't know that it's hard as hell to get an unemployment check. They don't know it's hard as hell to get link or stamps or a
Somebody
medical
else
card.
might be, and somebody else might be getting your check. You might not never get it. Somebody your unemployment check, somebody else might be getting it.
So it's like,
And not only that, they're not. Somebody else might be getting your stimulus as well, because they're still in identities 40 going
right.
north now, because you got to be
But
careful what you fill out
but
nowadays over
but
the internet.
again,
They have
You
a
got to
right.
and I just want to say this point right quick. I just want to say this right quick. Please be careful of the PPP, because there are several PPPs that's out there, and
Oh,
some
I don't
of
know. I
them.
don't qualify for none of that. My
So
unemployment,
some of them are loans, are direct loans,
all of
and
them are
some of them.
direct loans. They are all
Well,
direct loans. The
well,
grant,
not
the advanced
necessarily.
grant, the advanced. Trust me, I already know
now
the
you saying
advanced The
but
$10,000
I don't, I
advance,
don't,
there's
I
no
don't want
money
to
for
get
that.
off into that because that's not what we're on here for. But I'm gonna say this
well,
to
I
you.
was going to make a point right quick. The point is
Don't make that point,
be
man.
be be careful of what you're filling out,
Yes.
Okay.
especially with your personal information. You
And
got to go
yep,
on the actual
the actual site.
government site.
Yep,
Don't go on a site that somebody's giving you. Go on the actual site.
actual site. Yep,
If you get it off of television and stuff like that,
yep,
okay,
that's
that's
correct.
credible. However, you got to check that too, because there are so many infiltrators out there. It's ridiculous. And I am seeing senior citizens getting
Yes.
raked over
Yep.
the coals with their
That's
identity. And
that's
what
why I make sure.
Sharon is talking about, because nobody is not really reporting this,
Right.
that
That's why I made the point of what I said.
Mhm.
Hmm.
seniors, you're taking advantage of seniors.
Absolutely.
Because
Seniors
They
that really need that $600.
right. And that's
Seniors
what I'm
that
saying.
really need their social security, you're taking it away. And some people are still old school and they're getting their stimulus check through the
Well, they
mail.
don't issue checks. They don't issue
yeah.
they don't issue
And
checks anymore. They put them on a card. And
Oh, okay.
you have seniors that do not, like you said, are old school. They rather
uh,
get a check and go to the bank with they cash their little check than to put it on the card. And a lot of them don't know those cards.
No,
And
no, no.
you do have
and
scammers out there that are telling seniors, hey, sign this for me. I can make sure you get this. I can make sure you get that. Or they're calling them on the phone and saying, hey, I'm with the Department of Economic Security, or I'm with the IRS. One thing that, and I tell this to all of my seniors, because you know I work with a lot of seniors and they're my heart. I tell them all the time, no government agency is going to call you. I got one scammer that called me a couple of days ago. It's like, hey, we need to such. I'm calling from the IRS. I need to verify your information. I need to verify your email address. I said, what you got? Tell me what you got. Well, I can't tell you that. I said, well, if you need to verify, you need to tell me what it is. Well, I need to verify your address. I said, okay, what's my address?
While we were talking about this, uh, kind of got off the subject. You probably won't get a chance to talk about another subject, but we did clarify the carjacking thing. I do want to show you something since you started talking about the scammers. Now, you know, I don't believe everything that I see on Facebook. As my niece tell me all the time, I'm a hard sell. So, I think it was last night, the night before last, I just happened to run across this post, and this lady was talking about our cell phone. And she was saying, I always wondered how Facebook, I could be on there and I could have looked at something when I was off Facebook. I could have paid my bills and I could have went shopping. And then I got on Facebook. But when I got on Facebook, boom, my bank popped up. You know oh,
I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell you how to take.
God.
I'm gonna tell you how to disable that.
Well, I found out this lady did a walkthrough and showed how to go in the cell phone under your
Hmm.
settings.
And
There is
disable it.
yeah, it's called what is it? Off Facebook. Hold
Offline, yeah, offline Facebook data. Go to your settings, go down to the bottom and click on clear
on.
and disable.
When I saw this, I was just floored. And you know, she had an iPhone, which really made it better. What she did was she said, go to your settings, and she said,
Hmm.
when you get to your no, she said, go to Facebook. Go to Facebook. That's what she said.
And go to
But
settings.
she said when you go to Facebook, she wanted you to go to your page. She wants you to go to your page where your information is, like this.
Yep.
And then once you go to your information, she said you look down at the bottom, right in the right hand corner, lower bottom corner, and you'll see three bars. Three bars are
Yep.
there. So you touch those bars, and then you scroll. She say look for settings.
Mm-hmm.
She say if you don't find settings by itself, you look for settings and privacy.
Yep.
And then you touch settings and privacy, and then you'll see the word settings. So then you touch settings. And when you see account settings, you scroll down and you keep scrolling, and it says your Facebook information.
Information. Yep.
And right under
Disable.
there, it says all Facebook activity.
Yep.
And
Disable it.
who you have to disable it.
Yep.
Otherwise, whatever you do, you're being tracked all
Yep.
24/7.
Because remember, if you ever been on the phone, if you ever been on Facebook, been on the phone and you're talking about something, and this has happened. I've been talking to a friend, and we were talking about a vacation to Jamaica. I logged in
Okay.
on Facebook, and ads for booking VIP and vacations and stuff to Jamaica showed up on Facebook. But
Mm-hmm.
that, yep, you have to disable that because it tracks your banking information. It tracks everything. I think
Yeah,
I
and
got
it
that off of
also
your page.
and Katie and Sharon, it also tracks Pornhub too. So when
Pornhub, X
Oh,
Hamster.
I know, I know
so
what
you
time
got to
it
be
is.
careful.
Hey,
Got to be
hey,
careful. Got to be
I
careful.
hey, baby, I got it loud and clear. So it's now 10:38, and it's the time for what's that?
But before we get
Um,
off, did y'all see the controversy today on Facebook with Whoopi Goldberg wearing a Prince Hall sweater, a Masonic Prince Hall sweater?
what happened?
Mm-mm.
Huh?
No,
No,
What
I
what
he
happened?
didn't.
She wore a sweater, a sweater for Mason Brothers on her show today. It
Mm-hmm.
said it had the Masonic symbol on it. It said Prince Hall affiliated. Prince Hall.
Uh-huh.
That's only for brothers. That ain't for sisters.
Maybe
So
Well,
she's
it's
because
just
showing that for unity or something like that.
no,
Maybe.
somebody
you
might have
not allowed.
dated her and asked her to wear it, you know.
You not can't wear that. That's just like you in the sorority and you a AKA. If you're an
Mm-hmm.
AKA, can I wear your AKA sweater or jacket?
Uh-huh.
No, you're saying yes, I can or no?
What happens? What happens?
It's like it's hard to explain. It's you can't wear it like I my sister a Delta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Delta, so I can't wear my sister Delta paraphernalia. I didn't earn it. I don't know nothing about it. So if a Delta sister comes up to me and asks me about the sorority or whatever, I can't. What I'm gonna do?
You have to give it up.
Yeah, yes. Like
I
my
mean, that's
OES,
what they be saying, you know. If you,
yeah, my
if,
OE,
I
my
guess,
Well,
OES,
it
it's like
goes
my
back to
OES stuff. My OES jacket. Um, you can't wear my OES jacket because you're not a sister or you're not an Eastern Star sister.
hmm
Because if somebody asks you about it or whatever, and asks you what you wear in a jacket, you look at them
Like,
like,
I have to give it to them if they ask me for it.
well, they'll take it.
Oh, don't have to be that rough. Okay.
But
But
it's
I
just been
mean,
okay. So,
you know what? It's kind of like I understand it, but I don't understand it. It's almost like the fraternities and the sororities and stuff like that. It's
right.
got, you
It's what it
know,
is.
they say brotherhood, sisterhood, and stuff like that. And I'm a firm believer. If I'm your brother, I'm no matter if I wear it or not, I'm still your brother. You know, you're still my sister. I don't get that. You know, I
Yeah,
always
but
wanted to be a fraternity. I always want to join a fraternity, but when they started all that crap about like you got to do this and do that, and I'm like,
Mhm.
it's not. That's hazing. That's hazing. But that's not
and you
right.
got to wear this and this and this and this, and it's about
No,
scholarship
it's not.
and stuff
Well,
like that. And I'm looking at other brothers, and I'm like, well, damn. If this brother's doing good, how come that brother's doing bad? We're all brothers, right?
well, that's what
Yeah.
it's supposed to
I
be. We're
mean,
supposed to
remember
help out.
United Negro College Fund? Mine is a terrible thing to waste, right?
That's not a
And
fraternity. Yeah, it's a fraternity.
I was
That's
like, what?
so fun.
The United Negro College Fund, right? I'm a
But that's
Negro.
only.
Where's my college fund, right?
But that's for historically black colleges.
I'm a Negro. Where's my
Did you go to
funds?
historically black college? No. You so silly.
I'm not being funny, but I'm just saying, right?
But it's the purpose of that is to support
Uh,
historically black colleges.
Katie is about to end,
you
and
didn't
she
go
knows where I'm
to
about to get.
you didn't go to HBCU. Stop it.
But what I'm saying is if you earned your membership into that fraternity or that sorority and you went
Mhm.
through everything, you learned about it, you know the do's and the don'ts, you learned about it, you know,
Mhm.
you put your work in and you earned your jacket or
But
you earned to wear that coat.
how would they know? It's kind of like what, they're the policemen. They're gonna sit there and say, like, give me your ID, or
Okay. No, it's just like, okay, for instance, if you wanted if you my sister a Delta. My sister went through she's been a Delta when she was in college, and she went through the whole process and everything to become a Delta. I can't wear my sister's stuff for as a Delta. I can't wear her jacket. I can't wear her colors. I can't do all that. I can't represent being a Delta because I'm not. But if I take her jacket and I wear her jacket, that means I'm representing her sorority that I know nothing about. So if you was my sister and came up to me and asked me about that sorority and the things about it, and I couldn't tell you about it, I'm disrespecting that sorority.
So
I'm
in
taking
essence,
Okay.
you're saying, in
I got.
essence,
I'm
you're
gonna let
saying,
y'all make your last remarks on this because I got this other topic I just got to get to before I
Go
get
ahead.
off.
We finished. Go ahead. Go your other
Yeah,
topic.
sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Go your other topic.
I know y'all might not like to talk about this, but I just got to get this off my chest. Listen. So I was reading this article on not on Facebook, but in the newspaper, and they were talking about Father Flager again.
Uh-oh.
So, is it something wrong, Dr. Morrow?
I just
Is
said,
that good?
uh-oh.
Is that good or bad?
That's
Because
how I miss. That's how I miss when it's something he don't want to talk about. Okay,
No, I never said that. I never said that.
I
well,
know.
the thing is, I personally, I support Father Flager. I'm sorry, and the only
Okay, but I
reason
got.
why,
Well, I do too. But this is listen.
but I'm looking at
What
the
else?
articles this stuff
what
for
I'm
it?
going to tell you, what I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
So the article talked about the two brothers
Right. Okay.
who are who are accusing him of
They
sexual
68
assault.
years old. 68 and
No,
65.
no. 63 and 61.
Hey, Katie, give
But
me
this is
give
what
me
I
one
couldn't
minute. I'll
understand.
be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay,
One
I
minute.
will. Oh wait,
Okay.
I'm gonna finish.
But the thing is is this the one where they sent him the they sent him the email asking for $20,000?
They sent him a letter
Yeah, this is
asking
what
for.
I was talking about. I just
But
honestly,
wait for Roman come back. Girl, listen. 'Cause
I honestly
it's
think that
juicy.
this is like a setup because
It's so juicy, girl. I had to
because I
get
was
my
reading that
calculator
too.
out.
I was reading that too, and it just seemed
Uh,
like how you
You
my
and
ready now?
my computer
ready?
was flashing 5%, so I had to go get the
Record.
the
Okay, go
cord.
ahead,
So
Roman. Go
Okay,
ahead. I mean,
let me get this out and y'all tell me what you think. Okay. Now, Father Flager is 70 years old.
mhm.
He was the youngest yeah, he was the youngest person that ever became a priest back in what 1975
ooh, yes, I
at
like.
Sabina, but he was at Precious Blood before them, and young guy, young. So I was saying, well, he had to go to college. The priests go to college. They go to some kind of something for 4 years.
Seminary.
Huh? Oh, okay, seminary for 4 years. So we'll just say he was like 17 or 18, which would probably make him about 22 or 23 when he graduated. Okay? Now, so he's 70 years old. The oldest brother is 63.
Right.
The youngest brother is 61.
Right.
So that means that the older brother, he's 7 years older than him. And the youngest brother, he's 9 years older than him.
So how you gonna
Okay?
molest somebody 40? How you gonna molest somebody 40 years ago?
And y'all almost the same age.
Right. That's what. And then the thing is if this is what's you right. This
Well,
is you.
I
No,
wouldn't
no, no, no. Hold
say
on,
that.
Roman, hold on, because this
Okay.
is you.
Now, come on now.
This is
Listen.
juicy, Roman. Hold on.
Wait
The
a minute.
man,
Just the
you know
part,
about
I'm gonna tell you
you
the
know about
part.
the
I'm
ladder,
gonna tell you the part that I'm gonna tell you the
Roman.
part that
You
made
know about the
some of
ladder.
when I found out the 63-year-old brother is a retired policeman and a retired veteran.
That's the
That's
one.
the killer. The
Right.
the
That's
61-year-old brother was a drug addict.
right. In and out of prison.
61-year-old brother wrote this man a letter asking him, well, he wanted $20,000. It's
To
so
make it
many
go
words.
away.
You don't give me the $20,000, then I'm going public.
Yep.
But he tells the lawyer, I wanted the $20,000 because it would show that he's guilty, and I got him. So
Roman,
he
why that look
didn't
on
get
your
the
face
twenty
like that?
thousand dollars. Is that saying that he's not guilty? Now I'm finna go on and get up off of this stuff. What does it say? Help
Man,
me.
I tell y'all this okay. This is my honest opinion, and I'm finna go straight hood. I'm stepping
Okay,
outside my character, and y'all
come
gonna
on,
laugh
hood.
at
Come
y'all
on,
finna
hood.
laugh. As much as Father Flager been in the hood, as much
Mhm.
as he around black folks, and he
Mhm.
talk like one of us too. Don't you think if Father Flager wanted some pussy, he could get him some from somewhere, and he ain't got to pay for it?
I don't think you had no problem.
Exactly. So, and he ain't got to pay for it. So, okay, no, not back to
Come on,
my
Roman. Come on,
back to
Roman.
what
Help
I'm
me out.
saying. So if this man then traumatized you and did this to you all of these years, why do you wait 45 years to come out and say something to somebody?
When I found out they were old as he was, I was like, what?
So you got to think about it. If they're in their 60s, if they're in their 60s and they say this happened 45 years ago, 60 minus 40 is in their 20s, 18, 19, 17, 18, 19, 20. Father Flagrant wasn't even the same as damn near the same age they is.
Well, there is a 7 to 9 year difference in the age.
Right, but I'm just
Okay.
right. You're right. So if this happened 45 years, if they're in their 60s and this happened 45 years ago, that don't even make no sense. It
But
don't
that
even add
age,
up because
had
he's
been
been
a
in
little,
Chicago.
if they had been a little bit younger, just
If
to,
he been in Chicago, he been in Chicago for over 20 over 20 years. Over the 40 some years he been in Chicago.
listen,
This supposedly happened somewhere in another state somewhere. It would have
let's
been
be for
different.
if you
It
a
would have been
black guy, if you
if
a
this
black guy and a white guy come hitting on you for some sex, you know you gonna kick his ass.
they black.
Uh,
Huh?
yeah, they're both of them black.
This some bullshit.
But
Come on,
let me say this, and I
This
know
some
Kate, I know I'm
they
gonna get beat
help
up for
me,
this.
just help me
thought they was white.
understand.
I'm gonna get beat up for this. And I said it last After Dark series. I said, you know what? This is not the first time this allegation, we don't know.
Mhm.
It's the same allegation or repeated, or
Same one.
a different one. We
It's the
don't
same
know.
one.
It's the
He
same
said
one.
that there's
Same
been an
one.
allegation before. He said there's been an allegation out there before. I guess that's what
So
he
if
said.
But that was
if
the lady though.
what I'm
That was
saying
the lady
is
for sexual
it is
harassment
it
though.
but what I'm getting at, this is not the first time these allegations been out there. Okay? And I always say before we make any type of judgment, we got to
Mhm.
let it play out. And I said this before, and
Yeah,
I
but you
feel
gotta
I
look at it
feel
like this.
sorry, and this, and I'm gonna stand by this. I feel sorry,
Mhm.
and I hope they're not doing this in vain, because
See,
the truth will come out. And when the
but the
truth
thing
comes
is,
out,
no,
I hope that
but
the people that's out there, that's praying and rooting for him, won't get hurt.
Mhm.
What
but
I'm
but
saying, what I'm getting at
but
is,
I
we
get
can
what
be,
you're
wait,
saying.
wait, 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 hold
I
on.
get what you're
We
saying.
we we
What
can
happened?
we can be very analytical, and we can be also
Judgment
judgmental at the
and
same time. And remember, and I want to remind people, there
Mhm.
was this black female reporter
Mhm.
from the Time magazine
Okay.
back in what was that? I would say early 2000.
Mhm.
And she found out that there was a big person that had a child out of wedlock. And she was calling around, and they said, yeah,
who you
we
talking
know
about?
about it.
Jesse Jackson with the girl.
Yeah, we know about it. Then the question
Mhm.
was, why you didn't report it? Why you didn't
Because
say
Mhm.
nothing?
but the
So
thing
Uh-huh.
with
so
that is
here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
What I'm getting at is, okay, because he's this big figure and leader,
Mhm.
that
mhm.
doesn't mean that he has his trials and tribulations at the same
Right.
time.
And you got to get that. But
And what I'm trying to say is while we are champion, and we got to be careful of putting people on a pedestal too.
But I get that.
And I just want the truth. If he's exonerated, which I am hoping he is exonerated, it's out, it's over. However, if it proves out, we got to look at it, and for the African American community that's basically frowned upon abuses and stuff like that, we got to just take a look at it, let the truth comes out, because what Katie is saying is going to come out in trinkets.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes out,
doing it now.
But the
they're
issue,
doing it now. They
is,
putting a little bit. They feeding us a little bit of the information at a time.
but the thing is, what the
I
problem?
wonder why come they didn't put their names out there. They grown.
Right. And that's and what the problem is as how we are as people. We convict people and find them guilty in the public opinion, because what's happening now is they have literally destroyed this man. Like if this turns out to be like false allegations or whatever, we have people that have already tried and convicted him and found him guilty of this. So what has happened in the court of public opinion, he's found guilty already. So it has damaged his credibility, his career, and everything now, with it just being an allegation. So what are we gonna do when this comes out and they find out that this isn't true? We've already convicted this man. We've already damaged him, because I'm his friend on Facebook. Both of on his Facebook page, and you can literally see from the posts that he makes that this literally is destroying him. Because above everything, you got to understand, if you're a man and you're doing all these things in the community, you may be a priest. Yes, he's a priest, but above more than that, he's a man first.
And he's a human.
For somebody to destroy your character, to say that you've done something and that you're innocent of, that's just like me saying Roman raped me.
Don't say that on the internet. No, don't do that.
No, Roman, I'm using that as an example. I said it as an example.
No.
No, I'm saying it as an example.
You better pan your room a little bit so no cops won't come knocking at my door.
Me and Roman are cool. We friends. That'll never ever happen. But I'm just saying. How would you respond to that? How would you respond to that?
Oh, it's the way he said it.
If I put an allegation on you like that, I'm serious.
I will say in my Bill Clinton voice,
but I'm being serious right now.
I did not have sex with that woman. I did not have sex with that woman.
I know.
I did not have sex with that woman.
I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to be serious and prove my point.
I did not have sex with that woman.
If I made that allegation against you, and you're the person who you are, you have the status that you have, how would that affect you?
You muted yourself. I missed the last part.
I said,
I don't mean to be laughing, because this serious. It's just your composure.
What?
You can't see you. But
No,
wait
I'm
till
saying
we get off of
Roman.
here
Me
and
and
you can
Roman.
go back
Okay,
and
let
look
me
at
take
the
this
kids.
back. Let me put this
Oh, when
disclaimer
she said that?
there. Let me put this
Oh,
disclaimer out there. Me and Roman are really cool friends. We've never had sex. He's my buddy. But I'm just using this as an example for him to understand what I'm saying.
And I
If
strongly deny I did not have sex with that woman.
if I made the allegation that I just said to you, Roman, if I made the allegation that I just said to you, how would it affect you being the person that you are, the status that you have in the community, and you being who you are? How would that affect you? And
that was
and
good.
and the court of public opinion treating you as though you did do this awful thing that I said that you did. How would that affect you?
It will hurt. It will hurt deeply. And not only will it hurt, that's why I say stop making judgments on both sides and let the thing just play out. Yeah, it will hurt, but
Roman, we're not making judgment. We're just having
no,
a
no, no. I'm not saying that we're making judgment.
oh,
I'm saying the
The court
community,
of public opinion, the
the court
media.
of public
oh,
opinion.
oh,
Right.
Stop making judgments. And
yeah.
and the reason why I'm saying that is because there are men out there that that are accused of rape and don't belong in Cook County
Mhm.
Jail. Sexual and we got to stop that. And for black women, and I'm not just saying just for black women, I'm
Women,
saying for
period.
women period.
Just
They
because you
need
mad, you gonna get back at me, so you gonna say
right and
gonna
and
use
and
these
that
allegations.
that
And
destroys a
family, it
man's
destroys life,
life.
it
and
destroys
and
family, and that's
especially
the
if
point
it's
that I'm
he
making.
say she say in
Mm.
the court of opinion
And come on,
regarding any
Cindy.
type of male, the women always win. They will win. Remember the Kobe Bryant situation. Remember Mike Tyson's situation. Remember Bill Cosby is a good example.
Well, you
I
listen.
mean the
It's just
court
a,
of opinion, the court of opinion
Mhm.
is kind of like, even you can make that allegation and they can clearly see you're in another part of town, I'm in another part of town, Katie is in another part of town, but they will still lock me up because
Yeah,
Right,
of what Katie said earlier, especially if you have this.
that's right.
And
right,
That's
and
right.
that's the
and
point that I'm making. That's
the
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 point I'm making. That's what I'm
problem the
trying to say.
problem with this is why they want to character assassinate him,
Okay,
why Sharon wants to character assassinate Roman, why. So we got to define the why.
but you
Mhm.
gotta
These
look at it
brothers
too.
want to character assassinate. If
But
it turns out
look
that
at the
is
big
not
picture.
true, that we got to define why they would do something like that,
Okay,
and make sure that they you know I'm sorry, reap the benefits of putting stuff out there. It can be jail or get their ass
but
beat.
but the thing
But you know
is, you know
what?
that all these years they've been trying to silence. They've been trying to
Him.
silence him for years.
Yeah.
So so since this allegation came out, you know he can't do. They took him away from the church.
Uh-huh.
He can't.
They
He
have to.
I know they took him away from the church. He can't talk about anything. He can't talk about the allegations. He can't talk about anything because they like silenced him. Like if you look at his posts, everything that is he's been posting has been coming from other people talking about continuing to do the mission or whatever. So even if this isn't true, they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. They've damaged his credibility. They've damaged his name.
Let me let
They've
me let me
silenced
say
him.
this. Let me say this. usually the character assassination is usually a man of color. Okay, so I said that to say this: he's about the whitest black man I've
There
ever
you go.
seen in
Yep.
my life. Okay,
Yeah.
he really is. He is about the whitest black man
Yep.
I've ever seen in my life. And he's always sticking his neck out for people of color.
Yep.
Believe me, he is definitely a pillar and a voice in that not only in that community,
But
but in
overall,
Chicago, period. And this man is well known. He's like a
oh, my
celebrity,
battery died.
okay? He's not like what's his name, Supich?
Yep.
Yeah.
Father Fugger is a celebrity, okay?
And everybody know him. My battery died.
Okay, he's like Cheers. Everybody knows his name. So
So
why?
I just want to point
Listen,
this
there
out.
is a there is a reason that they want to character assassinate him. I don't know what's behind it, but there is a reason, and
It is. It,
I just hope that he is strong enough to handle this thing. I really do.
well, well, Katie, that's easier said than done. But I just want to point out something, just in case somebody's watching. You see, she's in a different part of the area right there, just in case people. All right,
Yeah.
so
You
We
know,
I'm all the way. I'm in another state. So all the white
all right, so to answer your question, Katie,
Okay.
to answer your question, Katie, it's easier
Uh-huh.
said than done. Tell that to a black man that a woman that's mad, what Sharon said, that told that he hit her and he didn't, and he's in jail. Tell that to a black man that that a woman is mad at him and it was consensual, and she said, "Oh, you raped me." Tell that. And it's hard when it's a he say, or a he say, she say. It's hard. It's hard, especially when you're a black man. It's hard because the card is stacked against you. And that's why I'm saying to people, yeah, it's going to come out either way because it's who he is. It's Father
Mhm.
Flager.
but the
And
damage
you
has
can't
already been
you
done though.
the damage is already done, but guess what? If he's a man of faith,
Cause you can't go back.
like he
But
tells,
I
wait,
get that,
wait,
and
wait,
I
wait, hold on,
understand that.
hold on. If he's a man of faith, like he teaches and preaches, he will get through this like he got through others. So I mean,
Right.
let me put it this way. You
I
can't
don't.
practice, you got to practice what you preach. And that's the answer I want to
Right. I'm
tell
not. I'm
Katie.
not speaking
And
for
in
him.
order for him
I'm
to
not.
uplift himself, in order to uplift himself, he got to play by the rules for now. For now.
Mhm.
But
Right.
soon as he's
Which is
exonerated,
what he's doing.
soon as
Mhm.
he's exonerated, oh,
Mhm.
trust me, you think he only had like thousands of people, it's going to be starting to trick up to millions. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because
But see,
it's
and
it's
that's
it's
and
it's one of
and
those things
you're
that
right with that.
people always always deal with character assassination, and it's hard to deal with that. Believe me, you don't want to be on that side of character assassination when you're
Right.
thinking that what people might do, might say, and you go up and you say hi to
Hmm.
someone, you wondering what they're thinking. He can't go shopping
Right.
anymore.
Mm. Yeah.
He can't be himself. He can't be Father Flager. So with that being said, it's the character assassination. It's anybody can identify it and identify with it, because
Right.
if it happened to you in grammar
And that's
school,
the and
if it
that and,
happened to you in college or high school or something, it could be like a girl that would say, you know what, Katie, you slept with Earl Winfrey, you know,
Mm.
I got you, huh?
but I
So,
get what you're
so,
saying. And that's the point.
so guess
And that
what? You're gonna have people looking at you funny, and you're like,
and
oh no, blah blah
cross-eyed and
blah. But
sideways.
it's
Well,
right, exactly. So no matter
yes,
what, Katie, to
I see
answer your
Earl is.
question,
I gotta say this because you said what Sharon. I had to clean this up there because I said, ugh, because I look at Earl as a brother. I, listen, when I see Earl Winfrey, I don't look at Earl as a man that I would be attracted to on that level. I look at him. He reminds me of one of my brothers. Love hate relationship.
Right. And that's the
That's the way
thing
I see
too, is
him.
that we all have a relationship as though we're family. All of us at
Right, right,
intellectual radio, we have a relationship as
right.
though we're family. You're like my big sister.
And then I look at him
Roman is like
because
my best
of
friend that I can't
technology.
get rid of. So,
Anything you want to know about radio, you know.
did you hear what Sharon just said about
What
me?
did she say? What did she say? I missed
She
it.
said,
Word
I'm
of
like that
mouth.
best friend that you can't get rid of, like a roach that comes in your house and it just.
Oh, Sharon did.
I did not say that. I said he's like my best friend and I can't get rid of him. He heard what I said. He added all that extra other stuff. I said, you're like my big sister that always has all the answers and stuff.
Yeah. Earl is Mr. Tech Support to me. Sometimes he has some stuff and he try
But
to play dumb. And he say it, but he don't want to tell you
I just think it's just like I just think it's like really, really sad that because
something.
I don't see how he's going to repair. I don't think because what's I don't think how he's going to repair. I don't think how he's going to fix things and repair things after we as a society have tried and convicted him in the court of public opinion. Because now what we gonna say? Oh, my bad, dog. I'm sorry.
It can happen. It can happen. We're gonna get our last say so because boy, it's 11.
I know. I'm just saying. I mean,
Okay, and so we're gonna get our last say so on this one. I'm gonna get mad now because I got a good one. You say you don't understand how he can repair after something like this being destroyed in a court. Well, I like a little comedy now. So I got something for you. So, in a court of public opinion,
I
he
bet this
can be
finna get
repaired
good.
and made whole. I'm telling you. And if you don't believe me, and don't get mad when I say this because I speak the truth. If Monica Lewinsky can crawl up under Bill Clinton's desk, and you know the rest, and who came out smelling like a rose?
Bill
Huh?
Clinton.
Everybody still likes Bill, okay? So he can be repaired and made whole. Next.
I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to say after that one. Oh my
But
god,
listen,
she got me
You
over
got
here
other-
crying.
is it the truth?
Oh
She's crying laughing.
yeah,
But it's the truth, right? Okay.
yeah, you right. Whew.
Don't mess with Bill, huh? You remember that song, Katie?
Hey, I'm just saying that was a travesty.
Somebody said that.
Like, and he told that lie. What's that big lie? Say it, Bill. I did
I did
what?
not have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky.
And he didn't.
Somebody said, I was listening to somebody the other day. They was like, they impeached Bill Clinton for getting his dick sucked, and I can't even remember.
He should have got it sucked. He balanced the budget. Wait. Unemployment was at an all-time low. Social Security had a surplus.
Oh, he is right. We did. We was it wasn't a recession. We was in a economic boom.
He left them Republicans with a whole lot of money. Okay? She should have been up under their desk. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And do a double time. Okay, let me stop and get off here. All right, listen, y'all. You know I always enjoy coming on after dark with you guys. So we didn't really get to talk about what we wanted to talk. You know, one subject can consume a lot of times, and it can send you off into a lot of different channels. But I just listen. I enjoyed talking to everybody, and is there anything y'all want to leave us with before we go?
Okay, I want to say something. If anybody is out there this weekend where I'm doing a grocery giveaway, please check my Facebook page. If you are a family or you know some family in need, a senior, please come out to my grocery giveaways. Follow my page. Go to Family First CL Foundation. We are providing fresh nutritional groceries to the community during this time when we need it the most. If you can't come out and you would like to volunteer, please come out and volunteer by picking up some groceries for someone else. Pick them up and take them to their house for them. That's all I got.
What you got to say, Drive Fast?
Watch me on Mondays, Drive at 5 on intellectualradio.com, and we'll talk.
You gotta do a comedy after dark.
We did a comedy after dark.
Okay, listen. When you got some time, on Saturday nights is good for the episodes. And ask people to listen. You need to go on Facebook and find that Laugh-Episodes fan page, and you really need to join it, because that's where we go and have fun after dark.
I'm over here tearing up from Miss Katie.
Katie wants me to come back so she can make fun.
I want you to do what?
You want to make fun of my impressions.
I like the Bill Clinton. Put that down.
Huh?
Oh,
I did an impression of Alexander O'Neill without his teeth.
Oh, then you gotta meet. You have to meet Miss Katie. Katie, you have to meet Martha. Make that money, Mayflower, because she will show you how to make that money. Can I get the crowd to say, "Make that money"? You gotta meet her.
Okay, bring her on. So that this is Zimra. You remember Zimra? Intellectual Radio? And she did a cover. What's going on? Hey. So with that, I'm gonna say I thank you all for hanging out with me after dark.
All right. Good night.
I would say y'all be good. And watch this. Don't y'all end up at the same place.